Alright guys, just San here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the LR INT GOKU and Piccolo. Now, similar to the Future Gohan and Trunks showcase yesterday, I don't have these guys on my main account, so I wanted to showcase them just because I was genuinely curious how good they were going to be looking. Because I've heard they can still be pretty solid, and I mean, I've seen them in some showcases every now and then. And I mean, you know, they're alright. I don't think they're anything too crazy, but, you know, we'll see in the showcase. They did kind of get replaced by the physical LR GOKU and Piccolo, who's a lot more recent. You know, he came out after the 200% meta, so of course, I think it's pretty safe to say he's just better overall. But that's not to say these guys are completely useless. You know, they're definitely on some solid teams, right? They are a Movie Heroes unit, so that definitely is really good. You know, they're on Warriors Raised on Earth, they're on Saviors, which can honestly use any help, right? I mean, that team isn't horrible, but isn't really great either, right? I mean, there's definitely a lot of, you know, help needed on that category. But his teams are pretty solid considering he's got a decent link set, I guess. And, you know, he's got an active skill he builds up, so he's a good unit. But I just think, unfortunately, he has aged out because he is kind of old at this point. I think he's, what, like 2 years old, I think? If I'm not mistaken, he's around 2 years old. So, you know, power creep has started to affect this guy just a little. But before we get into the video, if you find yourself enjoying it at any point, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, keep in mind there are timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip around to any part, then absolutely feel free to do that. And yeah, let's get right into it. So on this opening rotation, we are going to have 4 out of 7 links, and we do have support from the Yajirobe and the Gohan. And one thing I want to mention before we talk about his stats and all that is this guy doesn't have a 200% leader skill. So similar to our showcase with the God Goku and the Hit, you know, we're using the private server so we can see him under a 200% leader skill, even though technically he doesn't have one. So just keep that in mind throughout the video. But I'm sure he'll get one soon, right? Like we already went over, he's on some pretty solid categories, so I'm sure eventually we'll get a 200% leader skill for this guy. But for now, he doesn't have one. So alright, we're at 154k start of turn defense. So that definitely isn't good, start of turn, that definitely sucks. But this guy does get 30% attack and defense on both his 12 and 18 key, which is definitely really good. And then he also gets an additional 120% attack and defense when performing his super. So between the 30% from our super attack effect and then the 120% attack and defense from that, that's going to be a big buff, obviously, when he supers. So this is absolutely a slot 2 unit. And then he does also have a high chance to launch up to 2 additional attacks. And then he does build up with every attack performed. So he gets 1 key up to 6, and then attack and defense plus 10% up to 59% with every attack performed. And then he launches an additional super attack when HP is 59% or less after performing 6 or more attacks in battle. So, okay. The one main issue, I would say, is the high chance to launch 2 additional attacks. That definitely isn't good. That needs to be just guaranteed 2 additional attacks, maybe, and then they could both have, like, you know, a 30% chance to become a super, or just something like that. So I think that definitely is kind of a holdback for this guy, but regardless, you're still building up with him quick if you're getting those 2 additionals, and then also if you are below 59% HP, and then you perform the 6 attacks, of course, you know, you'll do even more attacks and build up with him even quicker. So, okay. Not the worst attack stat, considering we, you know, can do a bunch of additionals right here. And we are also lowering attack and defense. I did forget to mention that. Which, that's good for Super Battle Road, because this guy can, what, do, I think, 3 supers in a turn? In his ideal situation. So, I mean, you know, 3 supers, all of them lowering attack and defense, is very useful. But I guess in Super Battle Road, you're only going to be able to get 2 supers in 1 turn. Which is still good, right? I mean, you know, it's still useful. And then, especially because both of them are lowering attack and defense, and you're raising attack and defense, then this guy's not really going to be taking much damage. So I think he's really useful for any event where you can lower attack and defense. Maybe in Extreme Super Battle Road, he'll take just a bit of damage, especially because this is a build-up unit, and in there, you know, you can't really build up with him. So I don't know if I would, like, go out of my way to bring him in, like, Extreme Super Battle Road, but in normal Super Battle Road stages, you know, in these legendary events where he has time to build up, I think this guy definitely is going to be really good. And even in some red zone stages, where, you know, this guy has the chance to build up. Like, if you bring him versus Cell Max, which I know that's not a red zone stage, but I guess I just mean, like, difficult content. Versus Cell Max will be really useful because, of course, he has type advantage in the end. And then you've got those couple phases to build up with him. So he'll just work very effectively in there, right? So, okay, right here, we're at 139k defense. Once again, you know, that sucks. I mean, that definitely is bad. But after we get the 120% from Super, what we're going to be 300k defense, I think, and then we get the additional 30% from our Ultra Super attack, so then that's going to put us at like 400k, and then we are still building up with him, right? So you got to keep that in mind. So roughly 400k right here after we super. Still not really that good, but considering we're not fully built up, you know, I'll say that's all right for now. We'll wait till he's fully built up to really judge him. But for now, he's looking solid. So he does also have an active skill, which I did mention. You have to perform 6 attacks, and your HP has to be 59% or more. So that's good. Actually, that's the opposite of the other thing he has in his kit, where he launches the additional super. You have to be below 59% HP and perform 6 attacks. But this time, you have to perform 6 attacks and then be above 59% HP. So I guess either or, whichever one you're doing, if you're above or below 59% HP, if you perform 6 attacks, you're getting something with this guy, which is definitely good. I mean, the additional super is really useful because that's just an additional 30% attack and defense buff. So that'll come in clutch a lot. And then the active skill actually is probably better than the super. Well, overall, the additional super is probably better because then I think he just gets that for the rest of the fight, right? He gets the guaranteed additional super. But the active skill, he does give himself 6 key and 59% attack and defense, but it's only for 1 turn. So, of course, I mean, obviously, you only get that benefit for 1 turn because it says it, you know, in the details. But the 59% attack and defense is pretty nice, right? I mean, you'll see once we use it. It's definitely going to be a big buff, and it'll help him out a lot because especially, you know, he's getting all these stats on super. If you just bump up his start of turn, you know, attack and defense stat with that active skill, it's going to make it to where he's going to be looking even crazier. So, you know, the condition isn't horrible either. You got to perform the 6 attacks, which won't really be a big deal with this guy because he's performing so many attacks as long as you're getting lucky with that high chance of launching 2 additional attacks. But other than that, you know, it should be pretty easy as long as you're getting lucky. I think really, though, you know, the only issue with him right now, other than him just having low stats because of it, you know, because of his age, would be that high chance to launch 2 additional attacks. I think that should definitely be just guaranteed 2 additional attacks, and then they should also have maybe some chances of being a super, because then you could, like, you know, quadruple super with this guy just on an average rotation, and then you know, with all the defense you're getting on super, he'll definitely start to look really impressive. But I guess I'm more or less just talking about what his easy A could look like, because of course, I mean, you know, this guy's very old, so it makes sense why he's not as crazy. I mean, we already talked about it. He's almost like 2 years old. So I guess in the future, maybe within the next year or two, we could see him easy A. And then this guy could definitely be a good easy A. I mean, even now, look at that, almost 10 million. Definitely really good, especially because, you know, we've got a lot of additionals incoming here, probably. And then also we have the active skill we can pop in a little. And our normals are hitting pretty hard. I mean, we crit on that right there. I mean, I know we had type advantage, but regardless, you know, our damage is looking good, considering we got a bunch of additional attacks incoming. And then, you know, our defense is alright in slot 2. I mean, it's good enough to tank double digits from some, like, hard-hitting enemies normals. As I said, Cell Max, you know, you bring him versus Cell Max, you'll probably be able to tank double digits in there. I mean, we'll bring him in there and see, you know, we'll put that to the test. But I think Cell Max is a good fight for him. Maybe, what's another, like, tech enemy? I guess Red Zone Janimba? I know that's tech for a little, but it is also physical at one point. So I don't know if Red Zone Janimba is actually the best, but you know what I'm saying. Like, these bosses where they're tech, especially during the final phase, that's going to be really, really good for this guy, just because then, you know, he'll have time to build up, and he'll be built up. He has type advantage in the final phase. At that point, you'll be able to use his active skill, so then you can really start to use this guy effectively. So if you have to run him on the team in some very specific events, you'll definitely be able to make it work. Like I said, Cell Max, it's really the only example I can think of, but I know there's other examples. But like if you're running, I don't know, a Warriors Raised on Earth team, right? You've got Yamcha, and you don't have any other good, like, you know, int units to bring on the team. This guy might not be a bad option, right? Because, I mean, when you got a turn where you can do his active skill, and then, you know, you get a ton of attack and defense on super. So as long as you're not getting, like, locked or sealed, this guy's going to look really impressive, actually, considering his age. So I think overall, just a good option if you have to take on these very specific fights. But, okay, right here, 242k defense, pretty solid. We can't pop his active skill. Now, this is, again, going to give us an additional 59% attack and defense buff and some extra ki. So this is going to be pretty important, right? So let's go ahead and play this. Alright, so now we obviously did the active skill. We also have like a costume mechanic to where you see Goku takes his shirt off, Piccolo takes a weighted you know, gear off. That doesn't change their like passive at all. It stays the exact same. I know some units, they get a little bit of a passive change, like the LR Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, the free-to-play physical Vegeta and Bulma. But this guy doesn't like change anything at all. He just changes, his costume. That's it. But of course, the active skill does increase his stats a bit. So as you can see right there, almost 400k start of turn defense. That is very good. That is really crazy because we still get the 120% on super. So then that's going to put us well over 800k defense. And then we still get 30% defense on super. So, I mean, we're going to be approaching 1 million defense right here. Granted, we do have pretty much every link. We have every link active. And we also have 50% defensive, attack and defense support because, it's 50% support unit. So it's a very good turn for him. But, I mean, still, dude, this is pretty impressive considering he released before the 200% meta. So, overall, he's looking really good. I mean, there is still a lot of, places where this guy's just going to get destroyed. But, okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. An 18 million attacks that into an 11 million. Okay. That very much so caught me off guard. So with the additional super, which we did have a guaranteed additional super right there. Yeah, we were well over 1 million defense. An 18 million into an 11 million, not including the damage we got from the normals. Dude, that's pretty crazy. Because like I said, I don't have this guy, so I actually wasn't expecting that. That definitely is really impressive. I mean, I guess, he's under 200% leader skill, which he doesn't have right now, so you also have to keep that in mind. But, dude, he's looking really good, right? He is still looking really impressive right here. I mean, again, I think he could easily get a 200% leader skill very, very soon. I mean, as we said, Warriors Raised on Earth, movie heroes, it's just stuff like that. I could easily see just getting a flat 200% buff from a Carnival LR or something, just because these categories are really good. So typically with these Carnival LRs, they've been giving them leader skills for categories that are somewhat decent, right? For the 8th year anniversary, we saw the Carnival LR Goku lead Turtle School for 200%. We saw the Gohan lead Bonded Master and Disciple, which are both really good categories. And then we saw the Carnival LR Goku do Battle of Wits, which is a really good category. So I don't know why they're not really giving these 200% leads to some of the bad teams, which I think they really should be doing. But I mean, regardless, it's still good that this guy could get a 200% leader skill very, very soon. So I do think that definitely be really good because, I mean, he's looking good under 200% leader skill, right? So, okay, right here, we'll go ahead and nuke with him, and then we'll call it in here, and then we'll go ahead and take him in the Cell Max test. But, okay, yeah, so a big drop-off. We lost some support, and we also don't have the attack and defense buff from our active skill. So we're down to 170k start of turn defense. Definitely a lot worse. I think he peaks during that turn of his active skill. Obviously, I mean, he gets a very big buff from that. But regardless, I mean, dude, you can't take that away from him. He was still looking really crazy on that turn where he had his active skill. But we'll nuke with him right here. We're going to be able to get... hopefully we can get pretty lucky with Key Spheres. I mean, this guy's damage has been looking pretty impressive just throughout the video anyway. So I would assume this nuke test is about to be really good. Wow, 9. Dude, that sucks. Let's cut to a better rotation with Key Spheres because that is very bad. Alright, so we're back with a better rotation, at least in terms of our Key Spheres. I mean, we're only going to get 14 right here, but I've reattempted this 5 times at this point. We're just going to settle for that. Because 14 is still good. Of course, we also have the World Tournament Announcer item. So just a good rotation for him right here. We did get a decent amount of Key Spheres. We got the World Tournament Announcer item, like I said. Also, we're going to have 7 out of 7 links, because he does link up really good with the physical Goku and Piccolo. They share 7 out of 7 links, of course, because they're both a Goku and a Piccolo. Okay, 135k. That's a little bit more than I thought. I think they lost their guard. But regardless, we survived. And we are at a... Okay, well, he got the additional. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He gets the additional after he receives an attack. Yeah, that definitely is good design. I like that design on units. I mean, obviously, the LR Full Power Frieza has that. The Super Saiyan Goku. It does incentivize you to want to put them in slot 1. I think that's a pretty good design. But... Okay, 16 million. Really weird we got a higher attack stat on the turn of their active skill. I find that pretty interesting. I mean, I guess that goes to show you, dude, the turn on their active skill, they're definitely going to be looking good. But regardless, what was it, 16 million? That's still alright for a nuke test, I guess. especially considering we don't have any support, right? I mean, you got to keep that in mind. So I guess with that shown now, we can go ahead and cut to the Cell Max test and see how good he's looking in there. I'm assuming he's about to look good, but I don't know. A super attack could definitely cook us. Alright, so we're here fighting Cell Max, and we have a very good setup for him right here. Actually, this is probably ideal. So we do have some support from the Yajirobe. We do have Majority Links active because we have him next to the physical Goku and Piccolo. And of course, we can't pop his active skill right here. So because of this, I think we might be able to survive a super right here. Actually, I'm pretty sure we will, but we'll have to find out. I know we'll definitely take double digits from normal attacks, but I don't know. A super might kill us. I don't know. We'll have to see. We do have a lot of HP, though. I just realized 721k HP. Damn, that is a lot. And that also is a lot of damage right there from that normal. 200k. All right. So we did manage to survive, even though we did take a lot of damage. But, okay, we got the additional for 4.3. I mean, yeah, these guys can still do some solid damage. If we crit right here and get another additional super that crits, we might be able to kill. Alright, so how much are we doing? A 16.2 million attack stat. Yeah, that's definitely very good. I mean, we've already established this. His damage is crazy, right? Very good damage. Can we get one additional super? We can. Perfect. Okay, so 10 million. I mean, yeah, dude, damage is just top tier right here. I mean, once you do the active skill, it's just crazy. So, all right, double super. We got his active skill. We have some support. We've got all of our links active. We're under a 200% leader skill. And we survived with 41k HP to spare. All right. Well, we did take double digits from the normals, but yeah, the super did do a bit of damage. So even on a turn like this, we still take a lot of damage from the super. And of course, keep in mind, we were at 1 HP, by the way. Keep in mind, you know, this isn't a realistic showing. He doesn't have a 200% leader skill. You're not always going to have his active skill on a turn like that. So, of course, you know, that wasn't completely realistic, but the fact that he still managed to tank, you know, the super right there is still pretty impressive. And I think even on a normal turn, like without the 200% leader skill, without the active skill, he still would be able to tank double digits from Cell Max's normals. So that, again, is definitely very impressive. But alright, with all that shown, we can go ahead and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, so here we have Rivals Acting in Harmony, Goku and Piccolo. So starting off with their leader skill, it is Savior's category Ki +4, HP attack and defense plus 130%, or Int type Ki +4, HP attack and defense plus 100%. And then their super attack on their 12 key is that they raise attack and defense for 1 turn, cause colossal damage to enemy, and then lowers defense. They do the same thing on their 18 key, except for they do mega colossal damage, and then now lower attack and defense. And then their passive is that they get attack and defense plus 120% when performing a super. They have a high chance to launch 2 additional attacks. And then they get 1 key up to 6, and then attack and defense plus 10%, up to 59% with every attack performed. And then they also launch an additional super attack when HP is 59% or less after performing 6 or more attacks. And then their active skill is that they get 6 key, 59% attack and defense for 1 turn. The condition is that it can be activated after attacking 6 or more times in battle, and then your HP has to be 59% or more. And then their links are Infighter, Shocking Speed, Tough as Nails, Experienced Fighters, Solid Support, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. And then their categories are Saviors, Full Power, Joined Forces, Movie Heroes, and Warriors Raised on Earth. So, alright, that is the LR Goku and Piccolo. Let me know what you guys are thinking of these guys down in the comments. And also, let me know if there's any other units you want me to see do a showcase on that don't have a 200% leader skill. Because, of course, with the private server, I can do a 200% showcase on anyone. So, again, if there's anyone you want to see a showcase on, make sure you let me know down in the comments. And, yeah, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.